Vince, who's writing out these checks?
Well, it's me. Come on, I'm the owner here.
Well, if that's the case, who do I need to talk to about that? Hey, it's Wrestling Hero Figs. You can talk to me about it, Gargano. We can figure something out to help you out. We got today Elite Series 70, Johnny Gargano and Vince McMahon. They're all up at Ringside Collectibles. Code HERO's going to save you some money. Hit that link in the bio right here. Now, we did review 4 out of the 6. These are the last 2 down. And Vince McMahon, he's curious as to how we're going to help him out, right? Because if he's the one writing the checks, what's going on over there at Mattel, man, right? Anybody sitting in that table when the whole build of this figure was being put together, how does anybody come to terms or an agreement that painting on the cast is okay? I'm going to try to be as nice as possible, but I can't, dude. I am, like, really upset about it because we didn't just get it right here. You guys do recall, we did get it with the Elite NXT TakeOver. Now, for this one, it was a little bit more of a simple fix-up, because this one, you could have just done a calf swap with the Sting and kind of give it that look to where it still flows in well with the rest of the figure. But with this one, it's going to be different, because if you look at this one right here, this kind of has the rest of the Spider-Man paint deco going on in the calf, so like if you add black to it, it's going to look off. I don't know. I'm going to try a couple of things. There is a couple of things that I do want to try. And if anybody ends up choosing this for the free figure giveaway, you'll have the option of either me swapping it back or getting the calves corrected. And I don't know why you would. I mean, if anybody was to agree with, like, Hero Figs, I wanted how the factory made it. I want the closed fist and open hands. Well, obviously, those will automatically come with it. But just know that if I were to go ahead and take care of that, you'll have a choice of how you want it, man. Because some of these fix-ups, look, I get a lot of hate regular, like, Hero Figs, you're ruining your figures. I think there's nothing that you can possibly do except improve it by swapping it out as opposed to what you're seeing right here. Now, the torso, the cool thing about this, all that put aside, you guys, all right, so the calves are painted. We're going to beat that horse one too many times. But I also got to point out there's a lot of positives with this figure. First of all, it's this brand new updated head scan as opposed to the previous one, because the Elite as well as the basic for the NXT TakeOver, it had this regular look, which, it does still reflect Gargano. I do see it in him, but not the way that this one does it. I don't know how this one is just looking so much more dramatic. Well, obviously it's true print, to how it's giving him more of that genuine look. That, and also the styling of the hair. The sculpt on the hair, the way that it's parted, it has more of like a flair to it. Like, it's higher up, it's slightly elevated. It's got more detail. Like this one, he went to Hero Figs Barbershop and he says, just give me the Monday special, Hero Figs. I'll take it. I'm good with it. But this one, he's like, all right, man, it's the weekend. I got a big date going on. I'm going to take her out to dinner. I want to look as fresh can be. And that's how they did it, man. Like the hair, how it's like short in the bottom. And then it gets, like I said, a little bit longer as you get towards the top. The way that the beard right here, how it separates from the rest of the mustache, that's neat, man. The look of the eyes, like, I know it's looking just slightly off on camera, but when you hold it in your hand, dude, you'll know that Spidey had a lot of inspiration with this look. And that's the thing I love about Gargano. Like, all that aside with his ring ability being one of the best in NXT, just him reflecting, like, whether it's like Captain Marvel or Wolverine or Spider-Man, like, dude is a diehard Marvel mark, just like Hero Figs, and you're kind of seeing that right here with the rest of the red and blue, and then his own hint, his own touch and style up front. The zipper right here, it is actually painted. That you don't take the vest off from the front. You will still take it off the same way that you do with any other Seth Rollins vest. And when you do take it off, you ain't gonna do it by these straps. These are just molded on here to give it that real look. But when it does come off, you guys, you'll see that the torso, at least that, they went ahead and addressed. They gave it that more ripped, that more defined torso that he has developed these last couple of years. This is the old Daniel Bryan. Which one is accurate? Look, there's a lot of debate to this day. A lot of people still say that the Daniel Bryan torso works. And then there you got the true Gargano people that are like, what's going on? Why would you even put this on the figure? The wrist straps right here. So the red and black, it is sharing the same one that we saw with his previous Elite, but on the left side, we're getting the white and the black right here and the red and blue on the tights, it's kind of all tying in with the vest. The accessories, man, we covered the hands, but before I get down to these kick pads, I want to show you the little accessory right here with the fire extinguisher. We've seen this with the actual like backstage playset when Mattel used to release that, and we've also seen it in other figures. One thing that I do hope, if they ever do decide to put this out again, do kind of like what Jax did, like back in the old Jax days when they actually had the fire extinguisher. You could fill it up with water and you would squeeze it and then the water would come out. This is non-functional. I mean, it does have movement right here on the actual handled part, but when it comes to like actually utilizing it as a fire extinguisher, you ain't gonna be able to do anything with it. This part right here, you can't keep it down. I mean, it does move down, but it won't stay down, if that makes any sense. You got, like I said, the WWE logo up front and then just a bunch of writing telling you that this figure came from someone that didn't care as to how the kick pads would do. Oh man, I do need to calm down and ease up. But seriously, man, like, drop a like, man. Let me know if you want this taken care of, or would you say, like, once I get it here fixed, I'm just gonna keep it like this. I have no issues with it, man. I do. I'm sorry, but I do. This is up there with the Jeff Hardy tank top mold for me. On the left side right here, we got Johnny Wrestling. On the right, we got the rest of the look that we saw kind of on the actual vest, but on the knee pad with a slight different look to it. And there it is. That's kind of what they did. Now, production, my only conclusion, the reason as to why they took this approach is like, all right, we already had it in the previous Elite. We already have a mold of him. So why just not use? Why would you not just look? We've seen different kick pads where they go all the way up. Like there's two different styles. There's one where you got the hinge swivel right here in the bottom calf area, and there's one that actually has a swivel on the top of the kick pad. So there are options. There are options they could have taken in order to, you know, go ahead and address that. Now, if you do swap this, like kind of like what I did with the Sting, you know what? We'll do it on a turn on that notifications, man. You don't want to miss stuff like that or any of the giveaways that we do on the regular. So ranking, dude, 8. And that's being generous, man. Like the reason why I'm giving it such a high number, and it is a high number based on what we're getting, is because of the updated look on the head scan as well as the new look for the torso. Those calves are taking so much away from it. Everything else though, man, the vest is beautiful. The tight design, it's on point, but it's just those calves, man. Vince, now that we've gotten that out of the way, now that everyone has finally realized that the actual Vince McMahon, because this is one of those figures that had come on later on in the series that's like, all right, so which Vince McMahon are we getting? We've seen the Finn Balor, we've seen the Seth Rollins, we've seen Gargano. Vince McMahon was like the last piece, apart from like actual Dolph Ziggler. He was the last, one of the second to last to be shown as to the look and the attire that we were going to get with this. Now the platform, you are going to be getting an interview area. From what I'm seeing right here, this is actually the 4-piece surrounding area, and we'll do a little building construction right here on the channel just so you can see the difficulty on setting this up. So back in the day, right? There was actually a couple of reasons why they would do this. One, to kind of just make the interview feel that extra special. Two, there were some superstars, and this is a true story, you guys. This is actually even dating back to even now. They still do this. I know AJ Styles still does it from time to time. So what they do is that, man, I mean, the platform might not be in this scale. It might be slightly smaller to where it won't even be picked up on camera. But some of the other reasons are, like, some of these wrestlers, they kind of feel, I don't want to say subconscious, but they don't want to come off like, why are you as tall as the interview person? Like, shouldn't you, if you're a superstar, you should be like at least 6 foot. And some of these guys that are like 5'11", like, they're a little bit embarrassed, man. Or what it is that I think Vince McMahon, he wants to make his superstars like come off a little extra oomph out of the box, and this box right here is fighting me. So if you guys were catching and seeing as to how everything was being built, the connection piece right here, all these have inserts right here up the top, and you'll see that right here. All you have to do is just go ahead and insert it to that. You'll have one on this side as well as this. So I guess it depends on how you end up assembling it. The last piece right here, I think this one is going to be the one that'll be the most difficult, because this is the one that's going to bring it all together once it's all fully. Yes, we assembled it. We did it all on camera. We walked through a little story why they still use these. I like the platform. This platform just brings, and it is fairly heavy, so the figure with the actual platform itself itself. There is no logo designs, and it shouldn't. Back in the day, they used to utilize a lot of baby blue. I think that's the reason why early young Vinnie Mac used to wear that blue vest, but maybe that's a little too much. So there it is. There's the platform. You are going to have to mess around with it because there are some parts right here that you'll have to kind of mess around in order for them to sit flush. But once they do, you'll see that this platform, dude, it's a nice little extra. You can use this for so many different things. Like, I got several ideas in mind that we will put into play, but for the time being, there's the backdrop. Here's Vince McMahon. We are also going to be getting a mic so you can do the interview properly, because without a mic, you can't do an interview. Like, you can't just stand there and say, "Excuse me, Hulk Hogan, what do you plan on doing this Sunday at SummerSlam?" "Well, Vince McMahon, you don't have a microphone by my mouth, so I really couldn't tell you." Here's the mic. You got the classic WWF logo with the WWE slight modification, getting the yellow colors right there. On the actual mic itself, it does have a bunch of like texture design to kind of give it that microphone mouthpiece right there. The handle, that's it. All great. Nice piece. You need this, man. And it matches too. If you look at the top left-hand corner up here, I mean, the colors are different. This is more red. This is just a solid one-piece yellow. The blue, it's such a interesting blue. Like the way that it's reflecting right here, like if you actually look at the base itself right here, it's a very pronounced baby blue. This kind of has like a hint of gray. The hands that we are going to be getting for interchangeable will be two open hands. And I do want to pull a side-by-side one that we have gotten from Mattel. This is an actual, I think this was a Toys R Us exclusive, Vince McMahon. They have to look different. The facial expression has to be significant to where you can really see the younger Vince McMahon, and then the later, after the Grays came in and Stephanie McMahon was messing around with Macho Man. All right, let's not talk about that story. But the face, the actual width and depth of the new one, it's a bit wider, it's a bit longer, and it's a lot less wrinklier. Is that a word? I don't think it's a word. But if it was a word, you'd see that this one is just such a beautiful. How old was he? I feel like he had to be either in his late 20s, early 30s, because Vince McMahon, he's always kept that handsome young chap look, even right there with the chin. The hair, I like how it splits off in the middle. Eventually, in the later days, he had to part it. He didn't have the same hairstyle. He's like, all right, man, I got to put it to the side because my middle line right there, it just ain't working. And it was brown. It wasn't gray quite yet. The vest, we've seen this look, this mold on the figure on so many. As a matter of fact, even this one, they share the same mold. So the height, you'll have the exact same height comparison right there. So there's not gonna, I mean, maybe the hair, maybe this one on the left side will be a slightly bit taller, and that's mainly because of the head scan and the way that the hair was sculpted. The neck area, we're getting a nice white accent collar with a black tie, gray pants. So they mixed it up a little bit back in the day. Like now, when you say a suit, you have a one piece and it's all one color. Back then, they like getting creative, man. We're getting a darker gray, which the darker gray we did see with the Triple H, the suited Triple H right here. Not the one that was in the 2-pack with Danny O'Brien, but the one that had the ponytail look. The shoes right here. Let me show you the shoes, man. The shoes, they got stylish with it. Mattel's like, hold on, we're getting a young Vince McMahon. Let's capture the way that he wore it back in the day. I mean, you can actually see the texture up front as well as all the shoelaces. You're getting a 10, man. Vince McMahon, you're getting a perfect solid 10. And the overall set right here, let's bring them all to the frame. Starting out with number one. The number one place right here from this set, it has to be EC3, Ethan Carter III. The attire was the right color. It was the right choice. There's other looks that we could have gotten right here for EC3, but this has got to be one of my favorites. Number two, I'm giving it to Finn Balor. And it was a fight between Balor and Ziggler, just because Ziggler, we haven't gotten the Ziggler Elite in a good while. And that, and also the way that the overall figure with the actual entrance vest, the hairstyle. Number three, well, this actually, obviously this is number three. Number four, I have to go with Vince McMahon, a younger Vince McMahon. We need it in the Vince collection. We've had different time frames, but we still have yet to get an early Vince McMahon, and different styles, different pictures you can do on Instagram. Like, so many different ideas come to mind to where you can put this into play, as well as that little what do we call this? We'll call it a little interview section. I know there's a specific name, but the accessory, really neat. Next up, I gotta give it to Gargano. Gargano and Seth Rollins, they're fighting right here for last place. 5th, obviously, but 6th for Rollins. And the reason why Seth Rollins is raking lower from the series, it's just we've seen a lot of Shield Rollins. We still have yet to get either Thanos Rollins. We haven't gotten the Avengers one. There is like 5 or 6 different looks that we have not gotten for Seth Rollins to where they could have went ahead and utilized as opposed to a Shield one that we've seen at least 3 different times. But there's a series again. If anybody wants to pick any of these up, hit the link in the bio. They're all up at Ringside Collectibles. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and we'll see you on the next one.